The heavyweight division is on fire as the long-awaited showdown between Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder inches closer to becoming a reality. Who will come out on top? Would AJ be biting off more than he can chew if he were to pursue a showdown with the Bronze Bomber, who knocked out Robert Helenius in his October comeback bout? Stay tuned to find out. But before we get into it, head down to the comments section and let us know who you would like us to talk about in our next video. These two titans of the ring were once destined to collide in a battle for glory, but fate had other plans. In 2018 and 2019, Joshua and Wilder held all of the heavyweight belts between them, with Joshua reigning supreme as the WBA, WBO, and IBF champion, and Wilder as the long-reigning WBC champion. But despite their shared dominance, the two were unable to reach an agreement, and the fight that could have defined a generation fell by the wayside. Like a clumsy waiter dropping a tray of drinks, Joshua then lost his belts to first Andy Ruiz Jr. and then Oleksandr Usyk, while Wilder was beaten twice by Tyson Fury. But now, after years of setbacks and disappointments, Joshua and Wilder are reigniting talks for a potential matchup in 2023. Fans around the world are on the edge of their seats as they wait for these two gladiators to step back into the ring and settle the score once and for all. Wilder recently returned to the ring with the vicious first-round knockout of Robert Helenius, sending shockwaves through the division and reminding everyone of his devastating power. Joshua, on the other hand, is preparing for his comeback after losing to Usyk, and fans are eagerly waiting to see if he still got what it takes to reclaim his throne as the king of the heavyweights. Joshua is one of the greatest boxers in the world, and he has certainly mastered the basic boxing fundamentals of a good, strong, and solid jab to set up his power shots. He has a tight defense, with his right hand close to his chin to defend against hooks, while bobbing in and out or circling around to create distance from his opponent. Joshua does have a mean streak when it comes to finishing off his opponent, and will tend to pounce on them once hurt by throwing right-hand straights, uppercuts, and hooks to take them out. Joshua's jab is probably one of the most underrated weapons and key things he uses while fighting. He uses his jab primarily to set up his big right hand, with the typical 1-2 to apply pressure and create a range for defense. There have been two fights where we have seen Joshua use the jab to superb effect against quality opposition in Joseph Parker and Andy Ruiz Jr. in their second fight. Joshua understands the importance of the jab, and these have probably been two of his best boxing displays to date, using the jab like a magic wand to set up shots and create distance. Joshua is also very good at varying his jab, and, in particular, will jab to the body against the majority of opponents he has faced. Also, Joshua has exceptional punching power, which he has demonstrated in his past fights by knocking out many of his opponents like a wrecking ball on a demolition site. One example of Joshua's exceptional punching power can be seen in his fight against Charles Martin in 2016, where Martin was like a punching bag in front of Joshua. Martin was a heavy-handed boxer with a knockout ratio of over 90%, but Joshua knocked him out in the second round with a devastating combination of punches. The fight ended with a brutal left hook from Joshua that sent Martin crashing to the canvas with the force of a landslide. This knockout was the moment that Joshua won his first world title and demonstrated his exceptional punching power, like a superhero revealing his secret move. The fight showcases Joshua's exceptional punching power and his ability to knock out opponents quickly with the precision of a marksman. But his incredible punching power has also revealed some of his weaknesses. What do I mean? Joshua has won 24 fights and stopped 22 of those victims, so it's hard to blame him for being infatuated with his power. But power is useless if the punches don't land. And against Usyk, they didn't. It was like trying to hit a fly with the sledgehammer. The then challenger was never stationary long enough to be on the short end of punishing barrages or even hard single shots, a reality that both compromised Joshua's gas tank and his psyche. He ditched his old training team in favor of veteran Robert Garcia in the aftermath, and the new collective promised an approach that better utilizes Joshua's physical tools, which meant not only landing his power shots, but using his size and strength to their full advantage in clinches and tie-ups with an eye on wearing Usyk down. But that wasn't enough to save Joshua from the strength and dominance of Usyk in the second fight. Wilder might take advantage of Joshua's inability to maintain stamina over the long haul. This was how Usyk was able to defeat Joshua twice. Joshua also has a tendency to rely too much on his power punching and not set up his shots as much as he should. An example of Joshua's tendency to rely too much on his power punching can be seen in his first fight against Andy Ruiz Jr. in 2019. Joshua was heavily favored to win the fight, but he was caught with a number of punches from Ruiz that he didn't expect. He was caught off guard because he was over-reliant on his power punches and not setting them up with jabs or footwork. Ruiz was able to land several combinations on Joshua, and Joshua was unable to mount a sustained offense. Ultimately, Joshua was knocked out in the 7th round, losing his titles and showing that he was over-reliant on his power punching and not setting up his shots as much as he should have. One loophole Wilder can exploit when he faces Joshua is Joshua's defense. Anthony Joshua's defense can be suspect at times, as he has been hit with a lot of punches in some of his fights. Deontay Wilder, on the other hand, is considered to have some of the most devastating power in the sport, with an incredible 42 of his 44 professional wins coming by way of knockout. He has a reputation for being able to end fights with just one punch, and his right hand is particularly feared. Examples of his power include the knockouts of Berman Stavern, Artur Szpilka, and Dominic Brazil. In his fight against Dominic Brazil in 2019, Wilder was able to knock out Brazil in the first round with a powerful right hand. This performance was particularly impressive, as Brazil was a highly ranked heavyweight contender with a solid chin. So, imagine what would happen if Wilder's devastating power came up against Joshua's weak defense. That would be another defeat for Anthony Joshua. It'd be a tough fight to predict, as both fighters have unique strengths and weaknesses. Joshua's combination punching and Wilder's one-punch power could make for an exciting fight, and ultimately, it would come down to who lands the first big shot. So, who will land the first big shot? I'm predicting that Wilder will defeat Joshua. Let's see. Now, over to you. Who do you think will win the boxing fight between Joshua and Wilder? Let us know in the comments section below. That'll be all for today's video. Thanks for staying tuned. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that you can always get to watch more amazing